Welcome back to the Deep Dive. Today, we're going to be tackling real estate wholesaling.
Okay.
You know that strategy where you can profit from real estate without actually owning it?
Right.
Our guide is Dan Merrill's book, The Real Estate Wholesaling Bible.
Sounds good.
Now, I'm intrigued by the idea of making money without a ton of capital, especially in a market like this.
Yeah.
And Than claims he made $50,000 in profit
Yeah.
from just 2 wholesale deals in 2 months.
What's fascinating about Than's early success is that he didn't just stumble into it.
Okay.
He and his partners specifically targeted pre-foreclosure properties in an up-and-coming neighborhood.
Oh, interesting.
They understood that these sellers were under pressure and often willing to accept discounts for a quick sale.
So they were able to find motivated sellers and capitalize on a specific market niche.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But before we dive into the specifics of finding those deals, can you break down exactly what wholesaling is for anyone who might be unfamiliar?
Think of it as real estate matchmaking. You find a property that's significantly under market value, get it under contract, and then find another buyer willing to pay a higher price.
Gotcha.
You're basically connecting the dots between motivated sellers and eager buyers and pocketing the difference as your fee.
Okay, so no renovations, no tenants, no landlord headaches.
Yeah.
You're essentially facilitating the deal.
That's right.
But how do you actually find these incredible deals?
Then outlines several strategies.
Okay.
And one that he used early on was really interesting, tapping into pre-foreclosure listings.
I've heard of pre-foreclosure, but to be honest, it always sounded a bit intimidating.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you even begin?
It's not as complicated as it sounds.
Okay.
The key is understanding the pre-foreclosure process and knowing where to look for information.
Okay.
It all starts with understanding some key legal terms,
Right.
then highlights Lin's pendens and notice of default filings.
Okay.
These documents are public records and act as early warning signs that a property is heading towards foreclosure.
So these legal documents are like breadcrumbs leading to potentially motivated sellers. Is it as simple as just finding these filings and then contacting the homeowners?
You're on the right track. The Madge actually shares a story about one of his coaching students,
Okay.
Linda Peterson. She found a property through an auction list that needed repairs and ended up selling the contract for a $19,000 profit.
Wow, that's impressive. But finding these filings is just the first step, right? You have to know how to approach these homeowners and navigate potentially sensitive situations.
Absolutely. Van emphasizes the importance of approaching these homeowners with empathy.
Yeah,
Remember, they're often facing difficult circumstances.
of course.
It's not about taking advantage. It's about presenting yourself as a solution provider, someone who can help them avoid foreclosure and potentially even salvage their credit.
Okay, so understanding the human element is crucial.
It is.
But let's back up a bit. Where do you actually find these lead pendants and notice of default filings?
Then recommends starting at your local county government office. These records are public and usually accessible online or in person.
So some good old-fashioned research is in order. Any other ways to access these pre-foreclosure lists?
You can also subscribe to list providers or data brokers who specialize in compiling this information.
Okay.
They often offer more comprehensive data and can save you a lot of time.
So there are services that can streamline the process. What about something like the MLS? Isn't that just for real estate agents?
The MLS can be a goldmine for wholesalers, but you're right, access is usually limited to licensed agents.
Right.
However, Van suggests partnering with an agent who understands the nuances of wholesaling.
Okay.
They can set up targeted searches and help you identify properties that fit your criteria.
So strategic partnerships are key.
They are.
What about Craigslist? I would never have thought of Craigslist as a source for real estate deals.
Craigslist can be surprisingly effective. Think about it. You're reaching a vast audience of potential sellers, many of whom might be motivated for reasons beyond pre-foreclosure.
Okay. Yeah. Maybe they need to relocate quickly, they've inherited a property they don't want, or they're just tired of being a landlord.
It's about understanding those different motivations. But Craigslist can be a bit of a Wild West. How do you avoid scams or those infamous ghosting situations?
The Trigslin recommends using specific keywords in your searches and crafting compelling ads that target motivated sellers.
Right.
And to avoid ghosting, which is when Craigslist hides or flags your ads, you have to be strategic.
Okay.
Then suggest posting consistently, using different accounts, and building up a positive reputation on the platform.
Okay, so finding these deals takes persistence, creativity, and even a bit of digital savvy. So let's say I've found a property using one of Than's methods. How do I know if it's actually a good deal worth pursuing?
That's where the art and science of deal evaluation come in. The first thing you need to master is the concept of after repair value, or ARV.
Okay.
This is how much a property will be worth once it's fixed up and ready for a retail buyer. So I need to become a bit of a renovation expert, even if I'm not swinging the hammer myself.
You don't need to be a contractor, but you do need to understand what repairs are needed,
Oh,
how much they'll cost, and how they'll impact the property's value.
gotcha.
Then outlines a three-stage system for evaluating deals in his book.
Okay.
The first stage is all about gathering information.
So we're gathering intel, just like a real estate detective. What kind of information are we looking for?
You want to understand the seller's motivation, their timeline, their financial situation, and the condition of the property itself.
Gotcha.
Then suggest creating a seller-led sheet to keep track of this information and make sure you don't miss any crucial details.
So organized and thorough from the start. Makes sense. What's the next stage?
The second stage is where you compare the property you're considering to recent sales in the area. This is called the sales comparison approach, and it's crucial for determining the property's potential ARV.
So I'm looking at similar properties that have recently sold to see what they went for. Is the MLS the best resource for finding comparables?
The MLS is a great starting point, but you can also use online real estate portals like Zillow or Redfin.
Correct.
Then even suggest driving around the neighborhood to get a feel for the market and see what similar properties are listed for.
So it's about combining data with boots-on-the-ground research. And what about the third and final stage?
The third stage is the property visit.
All right.
This is where you get to see the property in person and verify all the information you've gathered so far.
Okay, time to move beyond spreadsheets and actually step inside. What should I be looking for during the property visit?
It's about more than just checking the number of bedrooms and bathrooms. You're assessing the overall condition of the property, looking for any potential red flags that might affect its value or require costly repairs. Then recommends taking detailed notes, snapping photos, and even shooting a video walkthrough.
So documentation is key. I'm guessing this is also a chance to compare the property to the comparables I found in stage 2.
Absolutely. You're looking for similarities and differences that could affect the property's value.
Okay.
For instance, maybe the comparable property has a finished basement while the one you're looking at doesn't.
Okay.
That difference could impact the ARV.
Okay. Making sure I'm comparing apples to apples. Now, what happens if I discover a major problem during the property visit? Let's say a leaky roof or a cracked foundation.
Then Iran actually shares a story in his book about a property he almost bought.
Okay.
He went through the first 2 stages of his evaluation system and everything looked great.
Uh-oh.
But during the property visit, he noticed some cracks in the foundation.
Oh, no.
He dug a little deeper and discovered it was a much bigger problem than he initially thought.
So even if a property seems promising at first, there could be hidden issues lurking beneath the surface. What did Narayan do in that situation?
He crunched the numbers and realized that the cost of repairs would eat up all his potential profit, so he walked away from the deal.
Wow.
It was a tough decision, but it was the right one.
It's better to miss out on a deal than to get stuck with a money pit. Okay, so I've completed all 3 stages of Than's evaluation system. What's the next step?
Now it's time to estimate the repairs.
Okay.
You need to figure out what needs to be fixed, how much it will cost, and how those repairs will impact the property's ARV.
So I'm putting on my contractor hat, even if I'm not the one swinging the hammer.
Exactly. You need to have a realistic understanding of the costs involved, even if you're planning to wholesale the property as is, then provides a comprehensive repair estimate sheet in his book that covers all the major areas of a property.
Okay, so I'm breaking down the repairs into manageable chunks and getting a handle on the numbers. But are there any areas where new wholesalers tend to make mistakes when it comes to estimating repairs?
One common mistake is underestimating the cost of repairs, especially when it comes to hidden problems like plumbing or electrical issues. Then cautions against relying solely on visual inspections. It's important to get quotes from reputable contractors and consider getting a professional inspection.
So it's better to err on the side of caution and budget for potential unknowns. What about permits and building codes? Do I need to factor those into my estimates?
Absolutely. Thin stresses the importance of understanding local building codes and permitting requirements. Unpermitted work can be a major headache, both for you and for your potential buyer. Make sure any repairs are done to code and factor permitting costs into your estimates.
So we're protecting ourselves legally and making sure everything is done by the book. Okay, I've evaluated the deal, I've crunched the numbers, and I've estimated the repairs. Now the moment of truth, making an offer to the seller.
This is where your understanding of the seller's motivation really comes into play. then emphasizes the importance of crafting an offer that addresses their specific needs and pain points.
So I'm not just throwing out a lowball offer and hoping for the best.
Not at all. It's about presenting yourself as a solution provider and tailoring your offer to their unique situation.
Right.
If they're facing foreclosure, you can highlight your ability to close quickly and help them avoid losing their home. If they're dealing with an inherited property they don't want, you can emphasize your ability to handle all the paperwork and make the process as smooth as possible.
Okay, so I'm appealing to their emotions and highlighting the benefits I offer. But what about the financial side of things? How do I come up with an offer price that's both attractive to the seller and profitable for me?
Then recommends using the maximum allowable offer, MAO formula.
Okay.
It takes into account the property's ARV, the estimated repair costs, your desired profit margin, and any other holding costs you might incur.
So it's a way to calculate the highest price I can offer while still ensuring a healthy profit. But even with a solid MAO, I'm guessing negotiations can get tricky. What are some common tactics sellers might use?
Then shares several negotiation strategies that sellers often employ. One is the higher authority tactic,
Yeah.
where they claim they need to get approval from someone else, like a spouse or business partner, before accepting your offer.
So it's a way to delay the decision and potentially squeeze out a higher offer.
Exactly. Then suggests being prepared for this tactic and politely but firmly reiterating your offer. He also mentions the good cop, bad cop routine, where one person plays the tough negotiator while the other acts more sympathetic.
That sounds like a scene from a movie. How do you handle that kind of pressure?
Then's advice is to stay focused on your numbers. Don't get caught up in the theatrics, and remember that walking away is always an option. He also discusses the nibbling technique, where the seller tries to get you to agree to seemingly small concessions that add up over time.
Death by 1,000 paper cuts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Then recommends being aware of this tactic and politely but firmly holding your ground.
Okay, so I need to be a savvy negotiator and not let my emotions get the better of me. But what about making my offer stand out? How do I present it in a way that's both professional and compelling?
Then suggests using a well-formatted offer letter that clearly outlines the terms of your offer and highlights the benefits for the seller.
So it's about selling the sizzle, not just the steak. I'm showcasing the value I bring to the table. What kind of information should I include in the offer letter?
Valthin recommends including the property, address the purchase price, your closing timeline, your financing plan, and any contingencies that might apply. He also suggests addressing any concerns the seller might have, such as their fear of foreclosure or their desire for a quick and hassle-free sale.
So I'm being transparent, addressing their concerns, and making it as easy as possible for them to say yes. But what happens after I submit my offer? Do I just sit back and wait?
Then stresses the importance of following up with the seller after you've submitted your offer. This shows that you're serious and gives you an opportunity to answer any questions they might have.
Okay, so I'm staying in communication and nurturing the relationship. But let's say the seller accepts my offer. Now what? It's time to start working with buyers, right?
That's right. Nadine then emphasizes the importance of building a trophy database of potential buyers before you even have a deal under contract.
So I'm proactively building relationships with investors who are looking for properties.
Exactly. Then recommends networking at real estate events, joining online forums, and even using direct mail campaigns to target potential buyers. It's all about building a pipeline of qualified investors who are ready to jump on your deals.
It's like creating my own private marketplace. But how do I make sure I'm not wasting my time with tire kickers who are just curious but not ready to buy?
Then recommends classifying and pre-screening your buyers. Ask qualifying questions to determine their experience level, their investment criteria, and their financing capabilities.
Okay, so I'm making sure they're a good fit for the types of deals I'm wholesaling.
Exactly. Then emphasizes the importance of building rapport with your buyers, understanding their needs, and exceeding their expectations.
It's all about building those long-term relationships. Now I've got my buyers list. How do I actually market my wholesale deals to them?
Then recommends a multi-pronged approach that includes email blasts, phone calls, and online listings.
So I'm casting a wide net to ensure my deals get maximum exposure.
Precisely. Then suggest crafting compelling marketing materials that highlight the key features of the property, the profit potential, and the ease of closing.
So I'm selling the sizzle, not just the steak. But what about transparency? Should I reveal my profit margin to potential buyers?
That's a tricky one. Then suggest being upfront about the purchase price and the estimated ARV.
Okay.
But he also acknowledges that some wholesalers prefer to keep their profit margin confidential.
So it's a judgment call based on my comfort level and the dynamics of the deal.
Okay.
Let's say I've got multiple offers from interested buyers. How do I choose the best one?
Then recommends considering several factors,
Okay.
including the buyer's experience level, their financing capabilities, their closing timeline, and their overall reputation. It's not always about choosing the highest offer.
So I'm looking for a buyer who's reliable, trustworthy, and easy to work with.
Exactly. You want a partner who's going to make the closing process as smooth as possible.
Okay. I've selected my buyer. The offer's been accepted. Now for the grand finale. Closing the deal. What are the key things I need to know about the closing process?
Then outlines two primary ways to close a wholesale deal: selling the contract and double closing.
Okay, let's break those down. What's involved in selling the contract?
Selling the contract, also known as an assignment, involves transferring your rights and obligations under the purchase agreement to your buyer.
So I'm stepping out of the picture and letting the new buyer take over.
Exactly. You're basically assigning your position in the contract to your buyer. Then emphasizes the importance of using a properly drafted assignment agreement that clearly outlines the terms of the transfer.
So making sure everything's legal and above board. What are the main benefits of selling the contract?
It's a relatively quick and easy way to close a wholesale deal. You don't have to worry about financing title work or closing costs.
So less hassle and faster profits. Sounds good. What about double closings?
With a double closing, you close on the property from the seller and then immediately resell it to your buyer.
So I'm briefly the owner, even if it's just for a few hours.
Exactly. Then points out that double closings can be more complex and expensive than selling the contract, but they offer some advantages.
Oh, yes?
One advantage is that it allows you to keep your profit margin confidential. Another is that it can provide more flexibility in terms of buyers. Some buyers might not be able to close as quickly as you need them to if you're simply assigning the contract.
So it's about weighing the pros and cons and choosing the method that's best for each specific deal.
Okay,
I've decided which closing method to use. What happens next?
now it's time to work with the closing agent or attorney to finalize the paperwork and coordinate the closing process. Then emphasizes the importance of choosing a reputable and experienced professional who understands the intricacies of wholesale transactions.
So someone who's going to make sure everything goes smoothly and that all the I's are dotted and P's are crossed.
Exactly. Then also recommends being proactive throughout the closing process, communicating with all parties involved and addressing any issues that might arise.
So I'm not just passively waiting for things to happen. I'm actively involved every step of the way.
Precisely. A successful wholesaler is a project manager, a negotiator, and a problem solver.
Them also talks about building a team to support your wholesaling business. He calls it your local team. Who are these key players?
Your local team is made up of the real estate agents, contractors, hard money lenders, title companies, and attorneys who will help you find, evaluate, and close your deals. Then suggests starting by building relationships with a few top producing real estate agents.
Why top producers specifically? What makes them so valuable to a wholesaler?
They often have access to off-market deals and a deep understanding of the local market, plus a network of buyers who might be interested in your wholesale properties. They're like walking, talking databases of valuable information and connections.
So they can be incredible assets. What about contractors? Why are they so important?
Contractors can be incredibly valuable. They can provide insights into the cost of repairs, help you evaluate properties, and they might even become buyers for your wholesale deals.
So they're a source of knowledge, expertise, and potential clients.
Exactly. Then emphasizes the importance of building relationships with reputable contractors who have a track record of quality work and fair pricing.
So I'm not just choosing the first name I find in the phone book. I'm doing my due diligence. What about hard money lenders? I hear that term thrown around a lot in real estate investing circles, but I'm not entirely sure what it means.
Hard money lenders are essential for wholesalers who need to close deals quickly or work with buyers who might not qualify for traditional financing. They're private individuals or companies that lend money based on the value of the property, not the borrower's creditworthiness.
So they offer more flexibility and faster funding than traditional banks.
Exactly. Then recommends building relationships with several hard money lenders so you have multiple options and can choose the best terms for each deal.
So I'm shopping around and comparing rates and fees just like I would with any other loan. What about title companies? I know they're involved in the closing process, but what exactly do they do?
Title companies are the guardians of the legal aspects of a real estate transaction. They handle the title search, the title insurance, and the disbursement of funds.
So they make sure the property is free and clear of any liens or encumbrances, and they protect both the buyer and the seller.
Exactly. Then recommends working with reputable title companies that are known for accuracy, efficiency, and excellent customer service.
Okay, so title companies are all about ensuring a smooth and legally sound closing process. Now, what about attorneys? Are they really necessary for wholesaling?
Yim believes that having a real estate attorney on your team is essential. Real estate law can be complex, and having an expert in your corner can help you navigate the legal intricacies of wholesaling and protect your interests.
So someone who can review contracts, provide legal advice, and make sure I'm not stepping on any legal landmines. But what about the non-real estate aspects of my wholesaling business? That also talks about building a business advisory team. What's the difference between that and my local team?
Your business advisory team is comprised of the professionals who can help you with the financial, legal, and strategic aspects of your business. Think accountants, tax advisors, business coaches, and marketing mentors. Then emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with a team of trusted advisors who can guide you and help you make sound business decisions.
So it's about building a support system for every aspect of my business. Who should I prioritize adding to my business advisory team?
Then recommends starting with a good accountant who understands real estate investing and can help you minimize your tax liability. He also suggests finding a tax advisor who can provide specialized advice on real estate taxation.
Okay, so making sure I'm taking advantage of all the legal deductions and strategies available to real estate investors. What about a business coach? Is that really necessary?
Then is a big believer in the power of coaching. He suggests finding a coach who has experience in real estate investing and who aligns with your values and your vision for your business. They can help you set goals, stay accountable, and overcome challenges.
So someone who can help me stay focused and motivated?
Exactly. And finally, then recommends finding a marketing mentor who can help you develop a comprehensive marketing strategy that attracts motivated sellers and buyers.
Okay, so building a strong business advisory team is crucial for long-term success. But even with a great team, how do I make sure I'm managing my time effectively? Wholesaling can be a demanding business, and I don't want to be working around the clock. How do I avoid burnout and achieve that elusive work-life balance?
Then stresses the importance of systemization and delegation. He recommends creating efficient systems and processes for every aspect of your business and then delegating tasks to others whenever possible.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. And then Laundry recommends leveraging technology to automate tasks, streamline your workflow, and free up your time for more important activities like networking and building relationships.
Okay, so embracing those tech tools that can make my life easier.
Then also recommends building a team of employees or virtual assistants who can handle the day-to-day tasks of your business.
So it's about building a team that can support my growth. But even with systems delegation and a great team, how do I ensure that my wholesaling business continues to grow and thrive in the long run?
Then emphasizes the importance of ongoing learning, personal development, and constantly seeking ways to improve. He recommends attending industry events, reading books and articles, listening to podcasts, and connecting with other successful investors.
So never stopping learning and growing.
Exactly. Then also emphasizes the importance of giving back to the community and making a positive impact.
So wholesaling isn't just about making money, it's about using your skills and resources to make a difference.
That's a key takeaway from Than's book. He believes that success is about more than just financial wealth. It's about living a fulfilling and purposeful life. He encourages wholesalers to find their passion, pursue their dreams, and use their success to create a positive impact on the world.
That's inspiring. We've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive, exploring the ins and outs of real estate wholesaling, from finding those hidden gems to building a thriving business. But what's the most important takeaway for our listeners?
I think the biggest takeaway is that real estate wholesaling is a viable path to financial freedom, but it requires knowledge, skill, and a willingness to put in the work.
It's not a get-rich-quick scheme.
Definitely not. But as Then demonstrates through his own journey and the stories of his students, it's a strategy that can generate significant income and create lasting wealth. It's about finding those hidden gems, connecting motivated sellers with eager buyers, and orchestrating win-win deals.
It's like being a real estate detective, uncovering those hidden opportunities and bringing people together.
Exactly. And it's a business that you can scale and systematize, creating a business that works for you, not the other way around.
So financial freedom and time freedom, the holy grail of entrepreneurship.
Precisely. And along the way, you're learning valuable skills, building relationships, and making a positive impact on the lives of sellers and buyers. It's a rewarding journey, both financially and personally.
That's a great point. It's not just about the money, it's about the personal growth and the satisfaction of building something meaningful. But let's get practical for a moment. We've talked about finding deals, evaluating them, making offers, and even building a team. But what about the actual process of getting a property under contract? What are the key steps involved?
then emphasizes the importance of being prepared and organized when you're ready to make an offer. He suggests having a pre-offer checklist to make sure you've covered all your bases.
Okay, so I'm not just winging it. I'm approaching this systematically. What are some of the essential items on Than's pre-offer checklist?
He suggests making sure you have a clear understanding of the property's title history. You'll want to order a preliminary title report to make sure there are no liens or encumbrances that could complicate the deal.
So we're doing our due diligence and making sure the property is free and clear. What else?
Then also suggests having your financing in order before you make an offer. Whether you're using cash, hard money, or private lending, make sure you have the funds available to close the deal. You don't want to get into a situation where you're scrambling for money at the last minute.
Okay, so financing secured. What about inspections? Are those necessary for a wholesale deal?
Vin recommends getting a professional inspection even if you're planning to wholesale the property as is. An inspection can uncover hidden problems that might affect the property's value or that you might be liable for down the road.
So it's about protecting myself legally and financially. But what if the inspection reveals a major issue, like a faulty foundation or a leaky roof? Do I have to back out of the deal?
Not necessarily. Then suggests renegotiating the purchase price with the seller to reflect the cost of repairs or asking them to make the repairs before closing.
So it's about being flexible and finding solutions that work for both parties. But what if the seller is unwilling to negotiate or make repairs?
Then stresses the importance of having a clear exit strategy. Before you make an offer, determine your walkaway point, the point at which the deal no longer makes financial sense.
So knowing my limits and not being afraid to walk away from a deal that's not in my best interest.
Exactly. Sometimes walking away is the smartest move you could make.
Okay, so I've done my due diligence, my financing is in place, I've had the property inspected, and I've determined my walkaway point. Now it's time to actually draft the purchase agreement. Any tips for navigating this crucial document?
Venverse provides a sample purchase agreement in his book and walks you through the key clauses and provisions. He emphasizes the importance of using clear and concise language and making sure all the terms of the agreement are spelled out in detail.
So no room for ambiguity or misunderstandings.
Exactly. Then also suggests having your attorney review the purchase agreement before you sign it to make sure your interests are protected.
Okay, so I've got my attorney on speed dial. What are some of the key clauses or provisions that I should pay close attention to?
Then highlights the importance of the purchase price, the closing date, the financing contingency, the inspection contingency, and any other contingencies that might be relevant to the deal. He also emphasizes the importance of including a clause that allows you to assign the contract to another buyer.
So I'm making sure I have the flexibility to wholesale the property.
Exactly. You're laying the groundwork for a smooth and successful wholesale transaction.
This has been an incredibly insightful deep dive so far. We've covered a ton of ground from the foundational principles of wholesaling to the nitty-gritty details of getting a property under contract. But before we wrap up this part of our discussion, I want to circle back to the importance of building a strong team both locally and from a business advisory standpoint. Can you elaborate on why this is so crucial for long-term success in wholesaling?
Wholesaling is not a solo sport. Building a network of trusted advisors and partners can make all the difference in your journey. Your local team provides the boots-on-the-ground expertise and support you need to find, evaluate, and close deals. Your business advisory team helps you manage the financial, legal, and strategic aspects of your business.
So it's about surrounding yourself with people who can help you navigate the complexities of the real estate world and make smart decisions.
Exactly. Think of your team as an extension of yourself, a group of people who share your vision and who are committed to helping you achieve your goals.
This is great advice. Building a strong team is essential for any entrepreneur, but especially for those in the fast-paced and competitive world of real estate. But I have to ask, how do you actually go about finding these amazing team members? Where do you even begin?
Then recommend starting by attending local real estate investor meetings and networking events. It's a great way to meet other investors, real estate agents, contractors, and other professionals who can become valuable members of your team.
So getting out there and shaking hands. I'm guessing online networking is also important.
Absolutely. Online forums, social media groups, and real estate investing websites can be great resources for connecting with potential team members.
So both online and offline networking are key. Any other tips for finding those A players?
Then emphasizes the importance of asking for referrals from people you trust. Reach out to your existing network and let them know you're looking to build your team.
So leveraging the power of word of mouth.
Exactly. And when you're interviewing potential team members, then suggests asking specific questions about their experience, their expertise and their commitment to customer service.
So making sure they align with my values and my vision for my business.
Precisely. Building a strong team is an ongoing process. As your business grows, you'll need to add new members with specialized skills and expertise.
So it's about constantly evaluating my needs and making sure I have the right people in place to support my growth. What about building a brand for my wholesaling business? Is that something I need to worry about?
Then talks about the importance of creating a brand that reflects your values and resonates with your target audience.
So developing a unique identity that helps me stand out from the competition. What are some of the key elements of a strong brand?
Then recommends starting with a memorable business name and logo. He also suggests developing a tagline that captures the essence of your brand and resonates with your target audience.
So I'm crafting a message that's both concise and compelling.
Exactly. And then suggests creating a brand style guide that outlines the visual elements of your brand, such as your color palette, typography, and imagery.
So ensuring consistency across all my marketing materials.
Precisely. A strong brand can help you attract more clients, build trust, and command higher fees.
Okay, so a powerful brand is a valuable asset. But how do I actually get the word out about my wholesaling business? What are some of the most effective marketing strategies?
Then recommends a multi-pronged approach that includes both online and offline marketing tactics.
So a combination of traditional and digital strategies? What are some examples of offline marketing that work well for wholesalers?
Then suggests networking, direct mail campaigns, bandit signs, and even door knocking to reach motivated sellers.
So getting out there and pounding the pavement? What about online marketing? Where should I focus my efforts?
Then recommends building a website for your wholesaling business, leveraging social media, and using online advertising platforms to reach potential clients.
So a digital presence is essential in today's market. What are some key elements of an effective wholesaling website?
Then recommends creating a website that's easy to navigate, visually appealing, and provides valuable information about your services. He suggests including testimonials from satisfied clients' case studies.
So it's about establishing credibility and showcasing my expertise. Makes sense. But building a website and crafting marketing materials takes time and effort. How do I know if these marketing efforts are actually paying off? How do I measure my return on investment?
Then emphasizes the importance of tracking your marketing metrics. He recommends using tools like call tracking numbers, website analytics, and CRM software to measure the effectiveness of your campaigns.
So I'm not just throwing money at marketing and hoping for the best. I'm analyzing the data and making adjustments as needed.
Exactly. Then also recommends A/B testing different marketing messages and strategies to see what resonates best with your target audience.
Okay, so constant testing and refining.
Mm.
That makes sense. But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about one of the biggest challenges in real estate: competition. How do I stand out in a crowded market and attract those motivated sellers?
Then share some great strategies for differentiating yourself from the competition. One is to specialize in a specific niche or type of property.
So instead of being a generalist, I become the go-to wholesaler for, say, probate properties or distressed properties.
Exactly. By focusing on a niche, you can develop deeper expertise and build a reputation as a specialist.
Okay, so specialization is one way to stand out.
Oh.
Any other tips?
Then also recommends offering unique services that add value for your clients. For example, you could offer to help sellers with moving expenses or credit repair services.
So I'm going above and beyond to make the process as smooth and stress-free as possible for them. But what about those sellers who are hesitant to work with a wholesaler? They might have heard negative things about the industry, or they might be skeptical of my intentions. How do I overcome those objections?
Then stresses the importance of being transparent and upfront about your fees and your process. He suggests educating sellers about how wholesaling works and addressing their concerns head-on.
So I'm building trust by being honest and open.
Exactly. And then recommends showcasing your track record and providing testimonials from satisfied clients.
Social proof is powerful. People are more likely to trust you if they see that others have had positive experiences working with you. But let's talk about one of the most important skills for any wholesaler: negotiation. We touched on this earlier when we discussed making offers, but what are some general negotiation principles that can help me close more deals?
Then's a master negotiator, and he shares some valuable insights in his book. He emphasizes the importance of building rapport with the other party, understanding their needs and motivations, and finding solutions that create win-win outcomes.
So it's not about trying to win the negotiation. It's about finding common ground and creating mutually beneficial agreements.
Exactly. And then also recommends active listening, asking clarifying questions, and being willing to compromise.
Okay, so active listening, understanding, and compromise are key. What are some common mistakes wholesalers make during negotiations?
One common mistake is getting emotionally attached to a deal, then emphasizes the importance of staying detached and objective so you can make rational decisions. Another mistake is talking too much, then encourages wholesalers to listen more than they talk and to ask open-ended questions that encourage the other party to share information.
So it's about gathering information and understanding the other party's perspective.
Exactly. And then recommends being prepared to walk away from a deal if the terms aren't favorable.
So knowing my limits and not being afraid to say no, but walking away from a deal can be tough, especially if I've invested a lot of time and effort. How do I avoid letting those missed opportunities get me down?
Then emphasizes the importance of having a positive mindset and focusing on the long game. He reminds wholesalers that not every deal is going to be a winner, and that's okay. The key is to learn from your mistakes, keep refining your strategies, and stay focused on your goals.
So it's about resilience and perseverance. But let's get back to the practical side of things. We've talked about finding deals, evaluating them, making offers, and even building a team. But what about the nuts and bolts of managing a wholesaling business? What are some essential systems or tools that can help me stay organized and efficient?
Then recommends using a CRM, customer relationship management system, to track your leads, your clients, and your deals.
So it's a centralized database for all my business contacts and transactions.
Exactly. Then also recommends using project management software to keep track of your tasks, deadlines, and progress on each deal.
Okay, so staying organized and on top of things. What about financial management? Any tips for keeping my finances in order?
Then stresses the importance of separating your personal and business finances. He recommends opening a separate bank account for your wholesaling business and using accounting software to track your income and expenses.
So good financial hygiene from the start. What about legal and ethical considerations? Are there any specific laws or regulations I need to be aware of as a wholesaler?
Then emphasizes the importance of understanding the laws and regulations governing real estate transactions in your state. He recommends consulting with an attorney to ensure you're operating legally and ethically.
So I'm doing my due diligence and staying on the right side of the law. But beyond the legal aspects, are there any ethical guidelines or best practices that wholesalers should follow?
Then stresses the importance of treating all parties with respect and honesty. He believes that wholesalers have a responsibility to act with integrity and transparency.
So it's about building a reputation for fairness and trustworthiness.
Exactly. Then also recommends disclosing your role as a wholesaler to both sellers and buyers.
So everyone knows exactly who I am and what my role is in the transaction.
Precisely. Transparency is key to building trust and avoiding potential misunderstandings. But let's talk about one of the most rewarding aspects of wholesaling, the potential to create financial freedom. Then talks a lot about this in his book. What are some of his key insights?
Well, I'm definitely intrigued by the idea of building a business that can generate passive income and allow me to work on my own terms. What are some advanced strategies for achieving financial freedom through wholesaling?
Then emphasizes the importance of creating a scalable business model. He suggests building systems and processes that allow you to delegate tasks and handle a higher volume of deals.
So it's about working smarter, not harder.
Exactly. Then also recommends diversifying your income streams by exploring other real estate investing strategies such as fix and flips rentals or commercial real estate.
So not putting all my eggs in one basket.
Precisely. And then stresses the importance of reinvesting your profits to grow your business and create long-term wealth.
So building a snowball effect where my profits fuel further growth and expansion. But financial freedom is about more than just making money, right? It's also about having the time and flexibility to pursue your passions and live a fulfilling life.
Absolutely. Adrian talks about the importance of creating a business that supports your lifestyle goals. He suggests setting clear boundaries between work and personal life and prioritizing activities that bring you joy and fulfillment.
So finding that sweet spot between financial success and personal well-being. But let's be honest, building a successful wholesaling business takes time, effort, and dedication. There are going to be challenges along the way. How do I stay motivated and overcome those inevitable obstacles?
That is a big believer in the power of mindset. He suggests surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people, setting realistic goals, and celebrating your successes along the way.
So it's about focusing on the positive, acknowledging my progress, and keeping my eyes on the prize.
Exactly. Then also recommends finding a mentor or coach who can provide guidance and support.
Someone who's been there, done that, and can help me navigate the ups and downs of entrepreneurship.
Precisely. Having a mentor can be invaluable, especially when you're first starting out. But what about staying up to date with the ever-changing real estate market? How do I make sure I'm not falling behind?
I know the real estate market can be volatile, and staying ahead of the curve is crucial for success.
Yeah.
What are some strategies for staying informed and adapting to market shifts?
Then recommend staying informed about market trends by reading industry publications, attending conferences, and networking with other investors. He also suggests tracking key economic indicators such as interest rates, unemployment rates, and housing starts.
So it's about being a student of the market and constantly seeking out new information.
Exactly. And then emphasizes the importance of being flexible and adaptable. The real estate market is cyclical, and what works in a seller's market might not work in a buyer's market.
So being willing to adjust my strategies as needed. What about technology? We talked about using technology to streamline my business operations, but are there any specific tech tools that wholesalers should be using?
The Zone recommends using a variety of tech tools to enhance your efficiency and productivity. He suggests using property valuation software to estimate ARVs, real estate investing apps to find deals, and virtual assistants to handle administrative tasks.
Okay, so embracing the power of technology to automate and streamline my business. But technology is constantly evolving. How do I stay on top of the latest trends and make sure I'm using the right tools?
Then suggests attending industry conferences and webinars to learn about new technologies and connecting with other investors to get their recommendations. He also emphasizes the importance of being willing to experiment and try new things.
So embracing a growth mindset and constantly seeking out ways to improve my business. But what about managing risk? Wholesaling, like any investment strategy, carries inherent risks. How do I mitigate those risks and protect myself?
Then emphasizes the importance of doing your due diligence on every deal. He recommends thoroughly researching properties, getting professional inspections, and working with reputable professionals, such as attorneys and title companies.
Okay, so careful planning and preparation are key. Any other tips for mitigating risk?
Then also suggest diversifying your portfolio by investing in different types of properties and in different markets. He also recommends having a cash reserve to cover unexpected expenses.
So spreading my risk and having a financial safety net. But even with careful planning and risk mitigation, there are always going to be unforeseen challenges. How do I develop the resilience and mental toughness to bounce back from setbacks and keep moving forward?
Then talks about the importance of having a growth mindset. He suggests viewing challenges as opportunities for learning and growth. He also recommends surrounding yourself with positive and supportive people who can encourage you and help you stay motivated.
So turning setbacks into learning experiences and building a strong support system. But what about the bigger picture? Then talks about the importance of building a legacy through real estate investing. What does he mean by that?
Then believes that real estate investing can be more than just a path to financial freedom. It can be a way to create a lasting impact on your family and your community. He encourages wholesalers to think about how they can use their success to make a difference in the world.
So it's about using our wealth and our resources to create a positive impact. What are some ways wholesalers can give back to their communities?
Then suggests supporting local charities, mentoring aspiring entrepreneurs, and investing in affordable housing projects.
So it's about using our skills and our resources to make a difference. But what about building a legacy for future generations? How can wholesalers pass on their knowledge and their wealth to their children or grandchildren?
Then recommends involving family members in the business, teaching them about real estate investing, and creating a succession plan to ensure the business continues to thrive for years to come.
So it's about building a family legacy that extends beyond our own lifetimes. This deep dive has been incredibly inspiring and insightful. We've explored the practical strategies for wholesaling success, as well as the deeper principles of building a fulfilling and impactful life through real estate investing. But before we wrap up this part of our discussion, I want to touch on one final topic that's often overlooked. The importance of self-care wholesaling can be a demanding and stressful business. How do I avoid burnout and maintain a healthy work-life balance?
Then emphasizes the importance of taking care of your physical, mental, and emotional health. He suggests making time for exercise, relaxation, and spending time with loved ones.
So it's about prioritizing our well-being and making sure we're not sacrificing our health for the sake of success.
Exactly. Then also recommends setting boundaries between work and personal life and learning to say no to opportunities that don't align with your goals or your values.
So it's about creating a sustainable lifestyle that supports both our financial and personal well-being.
It's been a pleasure, and I wholeheartedly agree. Than's book is a fantastic roadmap for anyone wanting to break into this business.
It has been amazing to unpack all of this, and Than's personal story really brings it to life.
Right.
He started with nothing and built an empire.
Yeah.
What I find most interesting is that he emphasizes the importance of mindset, not just tactics.
That's what sets that. That apart from other real estate gurus, He understands that success in wholesaling or any entrepreneurial venture requires a certain mindset.
Okay.
It's about resilience, perseverance, and a willingness to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth.
It's not just about finding a good deal. It's about having the mental toughness to stick with it when
Hmm.
things get tough.
Right.
A lot of people get excited about the prospect of making quick profits, but they underestimate the work and dedication involved.
That's why so many people give up too soon. They don't see immediate results and get discouraged. Than's book does a great job of setting realistic expectations while also inspiring readers to dream big and set ambitious goals.
It's about finding that balance between pragmatism and ambition.
Nice.
And one thing that really stood out to me in the book was Than's emphasis on building a strong support system.
Right.
He talks about surrounding yourself with like-minded people who can encourage you, challenge you, and hold you accountable.
That's such a crucial aspect of success in any field. It's easy to feel isolated and overwhelmed when you're first starting out. Having a network of mentors, peers, and colleagues can make all the difference.
It's about building a community, a tribe of people who understand the challenges and rewards of entrepreneurship. And I love that Thiz doesn't just focus on the financial aspects of wholesaling. He also talks about the importance of giving back to the community and using your success to make a positive impact.
That's what makes Stan's message so inspiring. He's not just about making money, he's about making a difference. He encourages wholesalers to think about how they can use their skills and resources to improve the lives of others.
It's about finding purpose and meaning beyond just profits. One of the things that surprised me about Sam's book was his emphasis on personal development. He talks about the importance of constantly learning, growing, and expanding your knowledge base.
That's something I deeply admire about Than. He's a lifelong learner who's always seeking out new information and new perspectives. He understands that the real estate market is constantly evolving, and wholesalers need to stay ahead of the curve to succeed.
It's about being adaptable, embracing change, and never becoming complacent.
Yeah.
We've talked a lot about the strategies and tactics of wholesaling, but what would you say is the most important quality for success in this business?
I think the most important quality is perseverance.
Okay.
Wholesaling is not for the faint of heart.
Hmm.
There are going to be challenges, setbacks, and rejections along the way. The successful wholesalers are the ones who can pick themselves up and dust themselves off and keep moving forward.
It's about having that grit, that determination to succeed no matter what obstacles you face.
Mhm.
And I think that's a powerful message for anyone who's pursuing their dreams, whether it's in real estate or any other field.
Well, expert speaker, this deep dive has been an incredible journey. I've learned so much, and I'm sure our listeners have too. It's been a privilege to share these insights with you, host speaker, and with our amazing listeners.
And to our listeners, we hope you found this deep dive into Merrill's, the Real Estate Wholesaling Bible, insightful, inspiring, and empowering. Remember, the world of real estate is full of possibilities. With the right knowledge, the right mindset, and a willingness to take action, you can achieve your financial dreams and create a life of freedom and abundance. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.